I just realized I was muted. Sorry about that. Alright, let's get this. So I need to finish up this game prop by tonight, and then Gogan wants to get going on it as well, the animations, so let's get it going. So I basically just need to finish off the rest of this retopology for the back of this, and then the peaks of the ends right here, along with the stone, the crystal stone day. So. I'm going to go ahead and finish off these tips. Nothing super exciting happening here. However, this is a good way to kind of know how to finish off like this, like the end of fingers or cone shape things. So, and if you were on my last stream, for the most part, I just kind of do like square, square triangle or square square triangle to start tapering it off. Welcome everybody. Let's see. I wish you guys could listen to the music that I'm listening to, but that would just be copyright problems. Unfortunately. I think that would add a nice little background ambience, though. Like I could probably listen to like royalty-free music in the background, but I don't think that'd be as cool. If anyone knows any cool royalty-free playlists, then please let me know. So I'm actually interested in trying that at least. Yeah, I'm just trying to finish off this the low res version of this staff, or the wand. I mean, similar weapon. One has perceived more power, but is not necessarily true. Okay, I wouldn't be so zoomed in, but these are kind of like very specific tip areas. They're just kind of like really small zones. Okay. Yeah, just finishing off this wand retopology for people that are just coming in. Welcome. The split rings for this, so I can pop this down here. I'm going to finish this off before I do the split rings. Welcome to the stream, y'all. Please let me know if there's any kind of like major latency. I may have some internet spikes tonight. Okay. We use the split rings right here, likely. So I'll probably add a couple different split ring loops. Okay, and do the back side of this. I'm almost finished with it. It's conforming to the shape, basically. How many more loops do I have over here? Because I think I might be getting too close with the amount of space that I have. So I think I'm gonna push this back a little bit. I think I have like four more loops, or let's see, is that 2 more? Okay, never mind, it's 2 more. Okay, so that might have been fine. I'm just conforming this topology. This can go up a little bit. It isn't looking very clean. Alright, so I'm just kind of doing a little few more topology things for this edge right here. Alright, so yeah, when I finish with this process, then I can go ahead and UV real quick and then texture it. Shouldn't take much longer. I think today I'll probably clock in just a few more hours for everything. Let's see. Whoop. That's not right. So I'm going to start reducing topology like right about here. I think I'll go ahead and do it to the triangle right here. Quad. If I can get a better angle with this, then I can. There we go. Come on, you can do it. I know you can. There we go. And just gonna finish this tip. So I think I'm going to end this one like this, where it's like, there we go. So, and then I can basically build this into one strip right here. There we go. Yeah, I definitely have to do split rings on that one. So this is 3D coat, by the way. Super. I don't know. I like 3D coat. I'm super interested in like pursuing like more software, but for now I think 3D coat's been pretty good for me. You know, it's something that I learned other than Maya, and I just really enjoy how it functions and everything like that. So for now, 3D coat's my go-to retopology tool. But it acts very similar to any other retopology tool, so like you learn this, you learn basically it all. It's retopology methods and stuff. I finish this tip off first, and then finish the other two tips, and then I'll be finished with retopology on this part of the handle. Almost finished this part. Next part's a lot more fun. So I just want to get through this. almost done capping this off, and then I can move on to the crystal. There we go. I guess everything for the low poly on the wand itself. So now I just have to finish off the crystal, which took like 5 seconds. Because it's pretty simple. I'm actually going to just put topology where the these pieces are. Like that's one thing about hard surface things is that they're a lot easier to just know where to put stuff, and because it won't animate, like it doesn't matter that there's triangles or anything like that. So I'm just literally just going to all these planar pieces are. Yeah, I'm just going to use that as a guide. It should allow me to do that. There we go. Just had to exaggerate that. Now I can brush it over. There we go. There, that's what I want. So a lot of this stuff I could just do a quick auto retopology. But I decided I want to kind of do this by hand. A little more control is what I like. But yeah, normally this kind of thing definitely could be just done with an auto retopology tool. But I want to be kind of very specific, I guess. That's how I handle that part. How does that run? Okay, that actually look fine. So yeah, treat your ball digging this crystal, and then I'll move on to my UVing and Maya. I think I need a little more light. I can't really see the edges how I want to, so I'm gonna increase. Well, let's see. Can I rotate this on? If you ever lose your model, then just do this frame. Well, it does not want me to find it, huh? That's weird. This has never really happened before. Warning serial number. Oh, I don't know why Ivan has that warning still. Here it is. Okay, for some reason it's this opposite one. Focus on brush. This one's frame. So usually frame works like that. I don't know why it wasn't. Oh well. Anyway, back to it. This one thing I like about 3D Coat is that it separates whenever something's not attached. It'll be like blue or green or purple or something like that. So you can tell if the topology is actually connecting. I personally like that. I'm just going to look to see if I can find these different edges because I can kind of see that line right there. It's just a little bit vague. I wish I could, like, rotate the lighting. I just don't see an option for that. When I increase the light, all it does is blow out the background, so... Okay, well, that's kind of frustrating. I think there's a way to... Was it E? No. I'm going to save real quick before I mess anything up. It's definitely, they say maybe it was G. It's one where you could see the grid of the object, or like the high poly, and that would actually help me see the clamped zones and stuff. Maybe on the view, wireframe. There we go. It's probably W, I bet. What was that? What did it say on the thing? Yeah, wireframes W. Okay. All right, cool. So yeah, I was pretty close to that. But yeah, so now I can see my wireframe and I can move my low poly accordingly. It's just a little bit slower because it's calculating all the vertices and how to view it. So that's one kind of annoying thing. It has like it's like very laggy. But I mean, otherwise I can't see. I have to be really careful about this. And then like all right, yeah. So go ahead and get this. Man, that's so laggy. That's the problem. Yeah, come on, you can do it. I believe in you. That's so bad. Oh, chug, chug, chug. Why is it chugging so hard? That's awful. All right, so when I'm rotating, I'm just gonna not be in that mode. That's ridiculous. That's so bad how bad it chugs. Alright, so now I'm going to go back on wire mode, and now that I'm set on my view. I need to do a square actually, because sometimes it messes me up. When I do a triangle, it sometimes will add a quad, and you'll be able to see the vertice very well. I hate that. So now when I connect these two walls to a triangle, then it snaps to a triangle, rather than like me having to do two in the same spot, and hopefully that it goes triangle and not square. And I don't like that it like snaps into a triangle like that. It automatically thinks that it's not. Yeah, when it's like almost too straight, then it'll just snap into a triangle from the quad that I'm trying to make. It's kind of annoying, like that. It's frustrating. So I have to like exaggerate the square just so I can get it down. Wire, then go to brush. Oh, that's so slow. See if like let go at a certain time, or if I like let go and then move my wrist at all, then it'll like it'll slide. There we go. Oh jeez, that's yeah. Wireframe is not too good. All right, let's finish this off. Let's see. Tighten out just the cap, and we'll be finished with this. Finally, the retopology will be done. Trying to get this peak right here because it kind of pops out like this, like an arrowhead sort of thing. So I want to kind of give it room to do so. And then last. Alright, cool. That is the gist of the retopology process for this. And so now I can go ahead and do the UVs, and then I can finally get into texture. But at least I'm almost where Goga needs me to be. So he just needs me to do UVs, and then I can texture at any time. Like animators aren't reliant on texture work, but I think for the most part, will need UVs done. So when they like are their paint weighting and everything, that'll be set. Sometimes it'll like create errors in Maya if you don't do that ahead of time. So, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do export retopo object, and that'll give my lower. So I'm gonna do this as my wand low. Oh, I thought I shut down on me there. See if it worked. Okay, it did. Alright, cool. So now I can bring it over into Maya. So right now, I know the UVing process for Maya best. So I've been using Maya for UVs. It showed up on my other screen, so I'm going to bring it over here to my main screen, my Cintiq screen. Alright, first off, I'm going to just go ahead and, I already saved this out, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. Anything that's going to slow my comp down, I want to get rid of, so. Like if I had ZBrush up or something like that, make sure that's off. I changed my music a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to bring in my low poly, and then I'm going to start doing some UVs for it. So I'm going to get my wand low and just drag it into scene. Alright, so one thing to think about is just you don't want to change where it is, or you want to change anything like the scale, because right now the low poly and high poly are aligned, and so if you change anything, then it could ruin that alignment, and the bake's gonna be bad. So let's so first off, yeah, just don't change anything, and then second, make sure that everything is solid and there's no holes. Find any holes or any discrepancies, then make sure to fix that. Sometimes the weld edges or like weld vertices don't actually weld properly, so you make sure that it's like airtight basically. especially near the tips. Sometimes the tips don't act right. It's looking pretty solid so far. Cool. All right. It's looking good so far. So yeah, so now I can go ahead and do my UVing process. So what I do for UVing is I go into my UVing editor, and I'm going to go ahead and side by side this so that it's a little more visual for you guys. If it'll let me. There we go, it will. Cool. That's good, because this will look a lot better for you guys. I can't just switch between my screens all the time, so you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Alright, so basically, I have my UV editor right here, and then I have my Myosine here. I'm not sure why attribute editor is so much bigger. It's dumb. Alright, so basically I'm going to go ahead and select my object, and then I'm going to go my UVs. I'm going to go my side view. UV menu, and then I like to do the camera based. And so camera based, I'm not sure why it does this. It just kind of stretches it out throughout the whole object right here, or the whole screen. So what I kind of do, go into shell, and then go ahead and shrink it down to its kind of basic shape and everything. So that's looking pretty close. I'll go ahead and turn off my wireframe for now. And so remember, whatever you do in this, it won't actually affect like what's happening in the modeling scene. So this is just kind of like it's separate from each other. So this what kind of shows you when I'm like hovering over or something, when it like lights up, but it won't, like when you change the UVs, like if I move this around, it won't move anything around in your actual modeling scene. All right, so basically I'm going to create a seam down the place that won't be seen the most, which in this case is the bottom of the of this wand. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my main view here, and then I'm going to create a seam down. Well, for the crystal, I think I could do, let's see, what should I do for the crystal? Yeah, okay. So for the crystal, I think I'm going to do it like a cylinder, as if it was a cylinder. Or kind of like, let's see. If I cut it, I'm going to say like this area. Alright, and so if I cut this, it's going to kind of like cut this base off right here in the back. Right, so it's this base area right here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. So right click, hold, cut so, and then cut. And then so now when I go to my UV shell, I have two UV shells. This is the back piece and this is the front piece. So now when I hold shift and hold right click, unfold, unfold again, and that flattens this thing flat, as if this was going straight and like it's like pug nose this bit, right? And so this is the back. I'm gonna do the same thing, unfold, unfold, and that's gonna lay flat too. And so even though these checkers won't line up when I go to the checker box, it's okay as long as they have similar UV space, or like, yeah, like this. You don't want this to be too small and this to be too big. Otherwise, the texture won't be flat or won't be clean. So it looks like this is kind of stretched out right here at the end here, and this is pretty wide. So one thing I might want to do is raise this up a little bit. But well, not that much. Alright, and then if I want to have a little bit cleaner instead of flat, I like flat because you have less seams. But if I want to have a little bit cleaner, then I can just do, as far as like just the UVs like not being like stretched like that. I can just do a line down one of the sides here, and this is the, what, this is the top? Alright, so I'm going to go to the bottom. If I was going to do this, I would do it in the bottom. Like right about this area. Looks like my symmetry's on. I don't want that to be on. Alright, then go to my cut tool. Cut and cut. So now I can do the same thing, select my shell, and then unfold. And see how this kind of creates a nice, any kind of, like, it just doesn't have any stretching, which is nice. The problem with this is again, that seam, which I don't like. Less seams the better for me. That's my opinion on it. So I actually would prefer the stretched, excuse me, the stretched textures over the clean one, just so because it has one less seam. But I think this will be fine. So one thing I could do, instead of having this big circle, if I'm going to do the seam way, then I could just have the seam go all the way. So like I could just do this. Maybe not even that one. So that one, and then I'll go ahead and do my cut. So let's do cut, cut. Okay. Now I'm going to select edge mode, and I'm just going to select all these edges. And then sew. Shell. Okay, didn't like that too much. So I'm gonna try this method, so where I actually like bring this to its according wall. Like that, and then I'll just do this and see how it works. Just gonna open it up from here. Okay, so it's mostly looking pretty clean for this back side, and we'll just have that one seam down the edge. Because it has a little bit of wobbliness, but like that's a lot more clean. So for here, I can go ahead and do these two as well. Let's see if it'll actually work. So, shell, unfold, unfold. Alright, that time it actually worked. Let's see if this will work. If I sew this last one, I'm trying to see if this works. I'm not sure if it will. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty good. So I'm just gonna leave. Well, I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna cut this edge and sew this one. So let's go ahead and cut, shell, fold, unfold, and then I'm gonna sew this one. All right, cool. So that's my that one island for this whole piece. That's how I like to do it, is one island per piece if possible. Well, not always possible, but I like it when it is. I don't like to separate the UVs and have like lots of seams everywhere. So I'm gonna do kind of the same thing with this wand. I think I could probably just do one seam down the bottom. Let's see if we can pull that off. So if I just do Alright, so we're almost done with this part. So I'm gonna cut this. Alright, so the one concern I have is that, like, when I cut this, um, that these are kind of long, and that I might not have enough texture space for them. However, they are pretty simple textures with hardly any information on them. So maybe it's not a huge deal that that happens. Let's find out. Do my cut, and then cut. UV shell, unfold, unfold. Alright, yeah, so see how they kind of like will form into a lot less topology or a lot less resolution, I mean? That's the only problem I'm looking into. Or kind of like looking at is the fact that it does that, right? So I may not want it to do that. However, right now it's not the worst, and I just want to have less seams. And so, like, having that, like, there's the only problem right here where it's red. That means that, like, the UVs are overlapping. Let's find out what is happening. So there's actually a lot of topology right in this area. So I'm going to go into UVs and just do an unfold down here. Yeah, there's a lot going in in those little spots right here. I'm just unfolding all these that have been kind of tapered in. Alright, so I think that what might be a better idea is to have the inside of these unfolded. So that means like things like that. Gonna see how that looks because I don't. Well, yeah, I can probably just cut this cap. That worked actually. Alright, so now that I have those, I'm gonna go ahead and try to do a cut. So this should have two shells. Oh, okay, I didn't finish this line. So I'm gonna cut that, and then I'm gonna go to my Not vertex, face, vertex. Let's see, redo. No, I guess it won't let me, so I'm just going to go on my edge mode again and do that. Cut and cut. Alright, so now I'm going to unfold again and see how this goes. So now this is cut off. And there's splits with all these. See, now it's like fingers kind of thing. And that cap can be by itself. All right, so one good thing to do for normal's sake and everything is to line up everything in as much of a cylinder as possible, and we probably won't be able to do that with the actual like finger bit part of it, or we can actually, but I'm also talking about these edges. So let's do that. They just need to be aligned with each other. That way the normals like line up pretty well as well, and that it just helps not have any seams, or to reduce the visibility of the seams. I'm trying to straighten out these UVs. Some water. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep on lining these up and everything. This is not the most fun part to watch or do, but it's gotta clean it up. Alright, yeah, so that should be good now that these vertices have aligned. That's the biggest thing. And then, so now I'm going to go ahead and try to align these. So now that they're aligned this way, I'm going to try to align them with themselves. The other axes. Just basically like this. Flatten. Yeah, that's enough, I think, to get most of the seams out. Alright, let's clean a few of these edges up too. All right, so far this is looking pretty clean, which that's looking great for something like this. See how like these like are lining up? That's what I'm looking for. That's the kind of thing I'm looking for. These are lining up, which is like the plan, right? So ooh, forgot this one. Okay, I just need to get a few of these. These are hyper clean, and I'm a little bit stickler about my UVs. I think that more people should be, so that they can get a better product. But yeah, I think that UVs are a really important part of this, and they need to be given a little more love than they usually are. Can I make it a little more clean, make it more aligned? All the textures will look way better. So why not spend some extra time? Can't really do much with all these extra ones, unfortunately. Best thing you can do is try to find out where they connect with the vertices. So like if I go on my vertex mode, then I can see which one they align with. So I can go actually on this vertex mode. And as long as these are aligned, these vertices, then I actually don't need to do any of this extra stuff, like the line. The vertices just need to be in alignment with each other. So I can just go in vertex mode and then line up like this. This is just a way to do it. There's just multiple different ways to do this. This is one of them. So I'm just going to do it down the line. Maybe we'll add that a little bit wider. Straighten, widen, straighten, widen, straighten, widen. So if I go in UV mode, it actually won't grab that extra one. That's why I've been in UV mode. It's because I wanted to just individually move them. Or independently, I guess, yeah. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to basically just make a wall. This is not necessary, but I'm going to do it just to get maximum texture space for this wand. I can basically just make everything into like a big like rectangle, essentially. This is basically as clean as you can get. You can't do that with like the finger bit part of it, but I can show you how to form that properly. Alright, so now that I basically have all these done, other than like this one, I guess. So now that it's like mostly a rectangle, I can go ahead and just drag on my my UV mode on all of these things that are inside except for all the corners and edges that I don't want to affect, that I've already messed with, right? Make sure you grab everything, so I missed like this bit, so I'm going to go ahead and drag that. Make sure that it's not grabbing the edge. Missed that one. Try to grab everything that you see inside of this. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and do that whole thing with the shift, hold right click, unfold, unfold. And see a nice, nice, clean average topology. Solid. Okay, so the things that I affected on the edges, I'm gonna go ahead and go and clean those up again. Make sure they match up on like height wise, so that there's not gonna be any discrepancies with the normal map. That's what I was worried about happening. That's what I want to have a little bit lower. Okay. And so now this glove area, I can go ahead and grab everything. Make sure I don't grab these corners and everything. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, unfold, unfold. And that will kind of flatten that out more too, giving it everything more texture, space, and density. Now with these, I can go ahead and grab these and then straighten like this. And this will help me kind of manage the hands better. So don't worry about this. I can just kind of do this and unfold. I just want to bring it down here. Alright, so yeah, all I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to just move, kind of make these like just pointing up, basically. Pointing up. Doesn't really know what to do with this part, so let's see where that is. That's right in here. Okay, not much I can do about that, so I just kind of bring this up. And then this one, what are these two? Okay, I'm gonna move this one back and move these down. Down here. These kind of average down here when I unfold after I move the perimeter. I'm just doing some old folds, so it kind of cleans up this mess. Just specific old folds don't get that. I'm not gonna get that corner. And this one just needs to be moved up. Okay, that needs to be moved down and moved here. Down and down. Okay, so now that that's done, we can just do the same thing with the fingers so the normal map doesn't make it all like funky and stuff. So as much as possible, I'm going to average out these vertices. So I'm just going to go in vertex mode, and then I'm just going to do this. So first I'm going to actually make these flat. So up until that point, and make these just straight as possible. So this part loops until this one, so I'm going to go ahead and do everything like that straight. Okay, and the same thing on the opposite side. And all we're trying to do here is get as much texture states as possible while keeping the normals nice and clean. So straight. There we go. And so everything in between. Unfold, unfold, and it flattens like that. So look at all that texture density space we have now. And it's clean. I'm just going to widen, kind of give that extra place. So what is that at the end? This is the tip probably. I think I'm going to cut one more on here. Is that here? Really? But to say it should be right there. Yeah, okay. So now I can go ahead and cut this tip. And then go to my UVs again, unfold, unfold. There we go. And then go to my vertices, and then there we go. Clean that. There we go. I feel like it was just kind of tucked too tightly right there. So I wanted to unfold that a little bit more. All right, so we're going to do the same thing with the other fingers. So these loop here to here. So I'm going to do it up to this point. So I think I'm going to grab these. Not that last one. Just up to that last, up to the second to last, basically. And then yeah, this, and then make sure that leads up like that. So yeah, and then bring it over to this, and then just straighten all these. Okay, now go to my vertice mode, and I'll do my cleanup. Let's just make sure all the UVs will, all the vertexes will be straight, and all the normal maps will be clean. Straighten this, and now I'm going to go into my UV mode, and then again grab everything except for the edges that you just cleaned, and then I'm going to go ahead and do an unfold. There we go, unlocking that density. Okay. Mostly just doing it for these fingers so it doesn't have any wobbliness on the slice. Alright, so I'm going to do this one straight, and the other one straight up to this point. Oop. I'm going to do those, and just do these. Okay, I'm going to go to my vertice mode and do the whole cleanup thing again for this one. just up to that point. And then these will go up, and then this one will go up. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that again with everything. I'll do one more just to make sure. There we go. And last one. Alright, so this one loops until this point. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this point and, well, this one, I think, yeah, this one. Okay, so I'm doing my vertices first. Just making sure that they are clean on the height. Okay, now they are. I'm going to do one more edge cut for this one because, again, this feels tucked too much. So I'm going to do cut and then cut. And then UV. Let's do an unfold. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to pull this UV up. There we go. Alright, so now I'm going to grab these UVs up to this point right here. Then I'm going to do my flatten. And flatten. Alright, so now I'm going to, again, do my unfold. Unfold, unfold. Cool, now I have a lot more space. And then I'm going to bring these actually in a little bit. Okay, and then these I'm going to bring out and up. Make sure that these are looking still solid. And this one I'm going to bring up a little bit. All right, so yeah, so that's the this is the palm area right here. So this zone, it's looking pretty similar as far as texture density goes. That's good. Okay, and this is the palm looking pretty clean. And so I actually can go ahead and do my UV layout. So it's okay that an asset is not filling up a whole canvas space, whatever. Like, you don't want it to stretch that way or that way too much. So this is okay. Only thing I can really do is I can make the crystal have a little more texture density, because it's going to be a little more stuff happening to it. Other than that, yeah, you won't be using the rest of that the texture, but that's okay. Not a big deal. So the texture density of the crystal is going to be a little more than the regular piece. Let's see. Okay, I can make this a little bit. I'm going to skinny this up a little bit so that these squares are looking more square. Okay. tightening this up in this area right there. Cool. So now I'm just gonna use that much, and that's fine. Um, all right. So now I can send this over to Gogan, and so he can get to animating, and I'm gonna do that now and in the stream so he can get it. And then on my next one, my last one for this, I'll be doing the texturing process and kind of finishing it up and everything. So I will see you